What's up, everyone? My name's Purploom, and my opinion might surprise you. Today I'll be talking about something a little different. I'll be walking you through my theory as to what the heck is going on in the Welcome Home restoration project. But before I jump into my theories, let me give you all a quick summary of what the project is. Welcome Home is a horror project revolving around a group of restoration enthusiasts trying to uncover why a famous puppet show of the late 60s to early 70s, simply called Welcome Home, was pulled off the air without a trace. This show was the sole production of a company called the Playfellow Workshop, which disappeared along with it. The group organizing this project calls it the Welcome Home Restoration Project, or WHRP for short. This project started after people started popping up online remembering this forgotten show. A few of them joined together to discuss it further when suddenly they started receiving anonymous letters full of things like merchandise, music, radio clips, clips of episodes, and artwork proving that not only was this show real, but also very popular. The show in question revolves around a little puppet artist named Wally Darling, alongside his neighbors Barnaby, Julie, Howdy, Sally, Poppy, Eddie, Frank, and more curiously, his very own house named Home. And you, the viewer. The website, organized by WHRP, was all fun and games until you realize that something or someone is trying to tell you something. These messages you find throughout the website were sent by a member of the WHRP who calls themselves W, Wally, and who is most likely to be Frank and Julie. That concludes the summary. Without further ado, let's talk this through. Here's a hot take I haven't heard anyone discuss yet, and it's whether or not the neighbors have puppeteers. Okay, hear me out. What if the Welcome Home cast walks and talks all on their own and the show is a slice of life of their actual lives? Some of you might be thinking, of course they have a puppeteer, they say so in the update. I can't deny that this is true. In each character's page, there's always a quick note about what type of puppet they are. Some, like Julie, Barnaby, and Frank, is just speculation. But others, like Poppy, Sally, and Eddie, are fact. But who's to say they're actually used this way? I think they're possessed. Okay, look, I know we've all heard their souls are trapped inside this character trope so many times before. But I think Welcome Home might be in the same boat. I'm gonna tell you why. The first time we ever see one of the neighbors' puppety flesh was in the bug videos on the website. That puppet being Wally, and that video being...
Oh, Stitch.
Delivery here. I've got a delivery here for one Miss Partridge, courtesy of Howdy's dependable door-to-door-to-door delivery service.
Oh, my feathers. Howdy, you frightened me.
Terribly sorry, ma'am. Suppose I should have knocked. Well, I've already overstayed my welcome. Got a whole shipment back at the shop I've got to sign for.
Oh, but...
I'll check in on you and your new wonder device next time I bring you an order, Poppy.
Oh.
Till then.
Oh, I don't know how to work these things, but... Well, he was so insistent it'd be helpful. Do you think you can help me figure this out?
Clips of the Welcome Home cast is super rare. And the only ones we'd ever seen so far has been Wally, Eddie, and now Julie. However, there's always something I found myself asking whenever I'd see them. Why do the puppeteers bother using their puppets when they're alone?
Mercy, what Ain't no one told me anything. Not a call, a visit, a peep, or nothing. How am I supposed to do my job when no one gives me something to do? Who's ever heard of folks getting recognition for nothing? No one. That's who. At least I don't think so, anyway. Maybe I ought to just go out for a walk.
Julie, where are you? Julie, there you are. I thought I heard. Julie, are you all right? Why are you...
No, it's nothing. I dropped my microphone. I need to find it. Stay over there. I need to find it.
Now you know they're by themselves because saying stuff like that on air, now that's begging for a cancellation. Oh wait, in any case, I'm sure they don't know that they're actually being watched here. So why bother touching and grabbing things with the puppet? No one's watching. They're off the clock. In fact, why even bother acting like the character at all? What's stopping you from putting the puppet down? Unless, of course, you can. But why not? What's stopping them? Or should we ask, who is stopping them? Throughout all the secret videos and audio recordings, the few that stick out the most are the ones where our beloved characters are really going through it over the most tiniest of things. The biggest example of this is Eddie and Julie. In the episode clips W manages to record from his box TV, we find Eddie clearly distraught over not having any work to do. It isn't until that he finally stopped looking for work and relaxed for home warming did we find out why.
Maybe this is what I needed. A love seat and my single pea on a plate. Yeah.
And so, the resident, reliable mailman finally got to take a day off for himself. Everything was delivered. His friends were all here, and, most important of all, Eddie dear was happy. Eddie dear was happy.
And in the congratulation videos Julie sends us, we find her panicking over not being able to make a flower bloom, and actually confirms that she'll get in trouble if anyone finds out.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what you want. I don't know what the problem is. Was that not enough? Do you want to get me into trouble?
And judging by her voice, it sounds pretty rough. But why are they so worried over not playing the character properly even when they're off air? What if they're so scared of being caught lacking because they know whoever's making them act for the camera is always watching? It is already established that the characters know they're being watched and are on a kids show, so it's a given that they're acting, at least to some extent, and I think I can confidently make that line. These puppeteers are as human as you and me, with real voices, real emotions, and real understanding of the world. These characters are in no way dumb. Sure, they may act all childlike, but there's a fully grown adult in there, somewhere. They struggle to find the time and the place to ditch the act and relax for once, and you'd only feel fear if you don't know when the camera is watching you. So, it is your best interest to always be in character. But how can a puppeteer play a character all day? And it's not just them. There should be a stage with a camera crew and a script and directors and such. They're not going to be working like that. Oh, wouldn't it be so convenient if the actors lived on the stage with hundreds of secret cameras to capture every moment? Maybe there'd be a hidden office building where dozens of writers and editors work to edit all the footage they have captured for the day and produce a perfect improvised episode every week. But alas, the puppeteer would always be in frame one way or another. Unless... Human me for a moment and consider the possession idea. Each character is possessed by their puppeteers. Whether it was consensual or not I don't have a clue. Because the neighbors don't remember who they were before becoming puppets. Huh? Think about it. We all know Eddie's forgetful self, but Julie? She doesn't even remember how she met her best friend. And it's obvious by the way she talks that she doesn't remember much of anything before she moved to home. But how can this be? Barnaby remembers his childhood days. Sally knows she came from the sky. Howdy definitely has a history with his family. So how come there's moments of forgetfulness? How come there's holes in their memories? I think that when they possess puppets, they are written with memories in the characters already. It seems like they only bothered to give them the basics, though. Say, like, the characters only knowing their family, or Barnaby and Wally knowing that they've been best friends since forever. I think Wally and Home are very interesting, though. I have heard some people theorize that Home possesses Wally sometimes, making Wally do strange or even harmful things. But then you'd have to ask yourself, who is Home? And acknowledge that Wally is a living being in the first place. I think Wally is possessed by Ronald Dorlane, who is also believed to be the creator of the show. Bear with me, okay? I don't have any proof of this other than the fact that Dorline sounds like Darling, Wally's last name. And I think Home represents the Playfellow Workshop. So, you have a sweet little writer who just wants to make an all-inclusive puppet show for kids. And you have a workshop only caring for numbers, taking the creative freedom from Wally, or Ronald, whichever. I think making an episode would go something like this. Wally would start his day like no other inside his house until someone calls him or Home speaks to him to tell him what the episode should be about today. Let's say it was for Barnaby and Frank to get along. Wally would come outside of his house and make his way to Frank's, hanging out in his garden. Frank, already in character, would see Wally and try to make a story on the spot, saying something like, "Oh, Wally, something's wrong with my tomatoes." And Wally would steer the drama to Barnaby, getting them into a fight and eventually fixing their problems together through the power of friendship. This is just an example. I am no writer, okay? Come on, this theory couldn't be more fitting. It fits everything, even the religious aspects. Possession could 100% be a thing, and I encourage you to share your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to wave up high. Goodbye.